Hi, I'm Nikki Duran, the Rock Climbing Realtor, and you've arrived at my video series about the 5 easy steps to buying a home. So congratulations, you're on the path to getting the biggest investment of your entire life. And it's going to be a great experience for you because we're working together and I'm going to make it super simple for you. So that's why I made this video series, to kind of break it down. But if you can watch it before we get going, then you have a really better understanding of what's coming next and what to expect at each step. Step one. Step one is to find a great realtor. So you've already done that. You found a great realtor. I'll be your realtor. I'm happy to work with you. And what that means about finding somebody that you can trust is you probably already looked at my reviews online. And the reviews are great. I actually like using Zillow for reviews because you actually have to be a buyer or seller client. So you aren't getting reviews that maybe our friends and family or something like that. You're actually getting what my previous clients have said. So feel free to look up those things and I will link them below so you can go straight to those reviews and check those out. But step one, find a great realtor, and that's what you've already done. Now step two is finding a great lender. So finding a great lender and figuring out the loan process is the next step. And you want to do that on the forward side of things. You definitely don't want to go out shopping for a house and then try to figure out how you're going to pay for it. You want to figure out exactly what your monthly payment's going to look like, what your budget is, figure out all your financials, and figure out, depending on your credit score, what kind of interest rate you have and what kind of programs they have. So if you're able to discuss with a trusted lender advisor, and I have some recommendations depending on your situation, that will help you initially, and go with that step number 2, and discussing those kinds of things will set you up for success. So if we're looking at $500,000 houses, when we get to that, we'll have an expectation of what the taxes are going to be, what if there's an HOA, all those fees that go into it. So you're really comfortable with your monthly payment and what that's going to look like. So when we go to make an offer, you already know what to expect. So if we work on some of those financial things ahead of time, and picking a great lender is one of them. And that is definitely the second step to buying a home. There's probably 5 must-haves, 3 maybe top 3 have-to-haves, and then 5 must-haves or would like to haves, and then some of the other stuff you can go. So if you're thinking it has to be so many square feet, or how many bedrooms, or it has to have a big backyard, has to have RV parking or a pool, there's all kinds of criteria, and your 5 priorities, or top 3 musts and top 5 priorities, are going to be very specific to who you are and what your exact situation is. So if we can narrow some of those things down, maybe keep things a little bit looser on the rest of it, we can really be open to finding out what exactly is out there. And obviously budget is going to be one of those. So we have to know exactly, what are you pre-approved for? What are you comfortable with your payment? What are the taxes, the insurance, all the other things that go around with that specific budgetary number, and we want to make sure we stay within that. So those are some of the things when we're going to tour the home: making priorities, making a budget, checking out neighborhoods. Very oftentimes jumped in the car immediately and we have to run and jump on something. If there's a really highly competitive or unique property that comes on, sometimes you have to be, can't really wait till the weekend, because sometimes houses go really quickly, especially if they're unique. So if that's your situation, let's do it. Let's go check it out. And I've gotten a lot of great houses on the first look. Step number 4 in buying a house: make an offer. So you found the perfect house, or a house that you really like and you'd like to take it to the next level. So it's all about making a great offer. So how do you make a great offer? Well, a great offer involves some details that we need to discuss. Obviously, one of them is the price. So to determine the price, we usually pull up comparables in the neighborhood that's sold. So anybody can ask any amount of money for their home. That doesn't mean the house is worth that. So that's why I pull up sold. So within a mile, in a comparable house, so if it's a 4-bedroom or 3-bedroom, or with a pool or without a pool, or with parking or not parking, those kind of things, we narrow it down so they're really like items, so oranges to oranges, apples to apples. And then we find out what they sold for, not what they were listed for or what they were on the market for. And then we'll have an idea of what things are currently going for. And that's how we come up with an offer price. So, and of course, the condition of the house, then we adjust our offer price accordingly. Some of the other things that we need to think about in an offer is, when do you want the closing date? So the closing date, you have to really coordinate that with, is the seller looking for something specific? What's your timeline? Are you in a rental? Do you have a moving time? What is your situation? You really need to take all those dates in mind, figure out what's the best offer, and then for closing date, and we will write that in there. Some of the other things are the financing contingency and appraisal contingency. Those are the number of days that you're saying that you will complete those two tasks. So the appraisal contingency is the amount of time, and we put in there calendar days from when the offer is accepted. The lender will also help you determine that, because the lender is the person that does order the appraisal. So trying to figure out what that sweet spot is between the shortest time possible, which is what the seller wants, and what's going to get the job done for you. The other is the financing contingency, is how long will it take for you to get your loan approval. That's another thing that you're going to coordinate with the lender. You're going to talk to them about where are we. We try to get all of that paperwork done ahead of time, so then we can put the shortest amount of loan contingency timeline, which looks better to the seller, on the offer. The other thing is closing costs. So closing costs are the amount of money that you're looking to get from the seller to contribute to your closing costs. So closing costs include the closing costs and title insurance and the loan fees and your down payment, all the money that you're going to be needing to bring to the table besides your loan amount. So all the other cash portion. So you can ask the seller to contribute some money towards that amount. And of course, whatever you're asking for is really coming off of your offer price. Now, in the end, we're going to put this together. You're going to sign it, and then we're going to send it over to the seller and give them 24 to 48 hours to review it and hopefully come back with a positive response. So what they can do in response is they can accept it. Great, we're celebrating, and we're opening escrow. They can also deny it completely. That closes the door, no negotiation. They're saying, I'm not interested whatsoever. And they can also, the third option is for them to counter you. And then you renegotiate. So then it comes back to us. We decide, do we like that? Is that agreeable to us? Or do we want to counter back? So anytime you're going back and forth, there is no deal that's happening. You're just negotiating back and forth. So once everybody has agreed to the contract, then we move on to open escrow, and that's the next step. Okay, step 5 and the final step in the process of buying a house is opening escrow. And this is kind of a big step. There's a lot of things that have to go into opening escrow. And so that means we've agreed on the contract details, and now we're moving forward. Your home inspection is probably one of the biggest things that you need to complete in that short period of time. Other things to think about initially during escrow is, of course, we're going to order the appraisal. The appraisal is ordered through your lender, and that is paid out of your pocket initially. So you will pay your lender that amount, and that goes right to the appraisal company. So those two items are things you got to think about when you open escrow that you're going to have to pay for right away. Some of the other things, you're going to review some seller's disclosures. They need to disclose any issues that they've had with the house, even if they fixed them. And you'll also get a title report. That's from the title company that opens the escrow. They will research the title to see if there's any liens, red flags, or encumbrances on the title that's something you should be aware of. Anything that they do find, for instance, if there's a tax lien or if there's some other issue that's on the title itself, those things will have to be cleared off to give you clear title. So another big thing that you're going to have to make sure that you scour through are your homeowner's documents. Now, these are quite extensive because there's a couple of things that you need to really be aware of. Obviously, the rules. That's a really important one that you'll need to look through when you're in your inspection period and your due diligence. And then, of course, after all of these things and you've inspected and you've read through your seller's disclosure and you've looked at your title report and you've gone all through that and everything's A-okay, we've already negotiated any repairs that have come up, then we're basically, it's all in the lender and your hands to make sure you get all your documents in. So they will maybe pull your credit again, maybe call your employer to make sure you're still employed, do all kinds of other little paperwork things that are like a follow-up before you actually get your clear to close, and you'll have to keep up with those documents. But other than that, we'll get the loan to clear, and then we will be moving on and closing on your house. But these are the 5 easy steps to closing on your house and buying a house, the biggest investment of your life. And it's going to be a great and smooth process. And this just gives you an overview of what to expect. But thanks for joining me. I'm looking forward to taking you out on step number 3, touring the homes, prioritizing, shopping for a house. We're going to find you someplace great, and it's going to be a great process. So see you on the road. Thanks for watching the Home Sweet Home Las Vegas channel. Don't forget to check out some of my other videos or playlists. And don't forget to like and subscribe. We're doing lots of different videos on real estate pricing and neighborhoods in Las Vegas, and also staging transformations, things for sellers when you go to sell your home, and also all kinds of Live Beyond the Strip shorts that tell you all the fun and cool things to do to get the most out of living in Las Vegas.